morning everyone, and welcome to Transformation Tuesday. I don't know about you, but I've had a terrific morning this morning. I've got up and done some yoga, some stretching, had a really good breakfast, which you might notice on my shirt. So today we're talking about Maggie, and Maggie's a 43-year-old woman that runs her own business. She came because she had a racing heart. She was struggling to maintain her weight. She couldn't keep weight on herself, and she had been medically diagnosed with Graves' disease, and they were looking at completely taking out her thyroid. So I'm Ange Sinclair, and I'm the Digestive Detective, and all month I have been talking about thyroid health, and this week I'm talking about hyperthyroidism and Graves' disease. I have to pronounce that properly because I get tripped up. So Maggie had come to me as she'd been diagnosed about 6 months before with Graves' disease, and she was taking some heavy duty drugs to manage this. And she wasn't very keen on doing that for a long term. And she also had been told by her doctor that at the last checkup that if they couldn't get a thyroid completely stable, that they'd have to remove it completely. And then that consequence of that would be that she'd be on thyroid medication forever, and she definitely wasn't keen on that. So she wanted to see if dietary changes could help her thyroid get back on track and make her feel better overall. So she had taken control of her stress levels because the stress had been really, really high preceding this. She had just launched her own business. She got really sick, and then she'd lost a lot of weight. So 10 kilos, in fact, in a matter of weeks. So she was down to about 39 kilos, which was for her height, was really too thin. She was always hot and sweaty. Her anxiety was through the roof. She didn't have loose bowels though, which is not always the case when you have hyperthyroid, generally the case, but not always. So that's why she didn't go initially, because she just thought it was stress related. So all these symptoms together prompted her to go to the doctor eventually, and she probably left it a bit too long before she went. So once she had a diagnosis, she didn't know what else to do. Hey, Kel. But she did know that she wasn't keen on having a thyroid removed. So we know that Graves' disease, like Hashimoto's disease, is an autoimmune condition. So it's sensible that we really look at the gut in these conditions, as she's likely got a leaky gut at the same time. So with Maggie, we did autoimmune paleo diet, which is a really strict diet, and we did it for quite a long time to see if we could get her antibodies down. So it restricts foods like gluten, dairy, nightshades, eggs, nuts, and a couple of other things that we took out as well. So Maggie really wanted to see if we could get those antibodies down, because in the preceding 2 months that they were really focused on taking her thyroid out, and she really wanted to avoid that. So in the 4 weeks, we basically did thyroid specific supplements, and we changed the diet, and Maggie's antibodies went from 11 to 4, which was really terrific. Even her doctor was shocked that they'd gone so much lower, although they still need to be lower than 4. But what this did was gave her, got a doctor to take her seriously, that she really wanted to reduce the medications that she was on and not have to be on medication for her life. So we've been working together now for about 10 months. Her antibodies are down to 2, and the endocrinologist she's working with now is happy for her continue to do what she's doing. So we're currently checking for issues that could be increasing her antibodies, and next week I'll talk about what some of those conditions are. She has worked super duper hard on this. You know, restricting your diet with all those things taken out, it's a pretty hard thing to ask anybody, but she can see the results, and life is much better for her. She doesn't have all those raging symptoms she had at the start. She's even started to put on a little bit of weight, which seems surprising when she's cutting out so much food. So a lot of the symptoms had gone, which was terrific. So I would suggest to you, if you have any sort of thyroid condition, or you're worried your thyroid's not working properly, book in for a free 15-minute call, and I'll give you an action plan at what to do next. And that doesn't necessarily mean coming to see me. It means what you can do next medically, look at your diet and those sorts of things. So if you are on this Facebook Live, it's in the title. If you're on Instagram, click the link in the bio. And if you're on LinkedIn, the link is in the comments. So have a fantastic day. I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye for now.